We're like,
guys,
we're in America.
Infamous exposed.
Because we've been talking about this idea for years now, and it's just not even an idea, it's just life.
Welcome to the first episode of Infamous Exposed. This is our first go at this podcast thing. We've been wanting to start one for a while, and Em has been pestering me for quite a long time.
It's been like 3 years now.
And I just didn't really believe in her vision.
But she's seen it all come to life. The vision is there. And we're going to bring you guys the first ever Infamous Exposed podcast.
I think what our plans are for this podcast is just to chat and maybe get some inspiration from what everyone wants to hear, because I know our lives are interesting and we just need to, answer the questions everyone wants answered. But I think for this one, we're just going to introduce ourselves, and then in further episodes we can
get to the juicy goss. We know all the questions you guys are going to probably ask, all the juicy goss.
We always get asked, number 1,
does everyone sleep together?
Number 2, dating life in the circus.
Number 3, where do you guys do your laundry? We get asked. We get asked that one a lot.
I think we want to end like every episode on like craziest story, maybe something to do with the circus and our like over the past few years, or even just like a crazy story in general
in life. And then if we get visitors on, we're gonna ask them their craziest story. And currently touring USA. We've toured Australia for how long now?
For 4 years. Infamous started in 2017 in Perth, and then we've travelled all the way across to Queensland, stopping in like Adelaide and all that jazz.
Mainly in Queensland.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden our boss had a midlife crisis and decided to come over to America.
Everyone get your popcorn because this is a long story.
I'm not going into it.
How long have you been Infamous, or where did your life begin in the circus?
Yeah, so I was born in the show, in the circus, and we were doing a family circus. So
my mum had her in the tent in front
That's false news. False news.
That's false. She had her in a hospital.
Yes. But I was born into the circus. I'm 7th generation, and I've been doing it my entire life. And when Infamous started, I just obviously tagged along because I was only 16 when it started, so I couldn't do anything else. I wasn't forced, but I didn't have anything else to do. So and I'm still here, and I love it. It's what I love to do. Performing is my life. Em, how did you join the show?
So I did full-time dance for a few years at the Central Coast at Lee Academy. And then one of my friends, Sophie, who is also now in the show, which you guys will definitely meet, she was like, Infamous is holding auditions. So I went and auditioned. But like, I went and watched the show. We all got shit-faced together.
I remember when you first came to the auditions, and I was acting all professional with all your CVs, and I was going through them and like acting like I knew what I was talking about, but I had no idea. And it was me and Maddie, I think, running the auditions.
Yeah.
And I remember I saw you and Jemima and
a few other girls.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely you stood out because one of our ex-dancers as well was, kind of pushing for you to join.
Yes.
So I kind of gave into peer pressure there.
Which she definitely doesn't regret now, so thanks to Brooke. But yeah, pretty much just auditioned, watched the show, auditioned, and then a week of just like waiting to see if I got the job or not. Then I got the job, and
made
then
you sweat.
Yeah, I was didn't even think about it. No, I'm kidding. And then a week later, got a message from Dante saying you got the job. Rehearsals in a week. So then rehearsals, came to the circus, to the show Infamous for a week, did rehearsals, which honestly we pretty much just explored the whole week, and I did rehearsals like two hours a day.
Yeah,
it was so good.
I don't really remember. Where was that? Where were we?
Maroochydore at the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were still there. Okay, I remember now. See, I don't remember much.
Yeah, Dante does not remember anything. So that happened, and then I joined the show in 2020. My like literally 4th week here, my toenail like got caught in the stage and my whole toenail fell off. And then COVID happened, and then we were off for like 3 months, and then like July 2020 is
I'm
when
gonna
we
say one of the first stories of M that I encountered, and it was the beginning of 2020, and we just all really gotten to know each other, but not really. We hadn't really known each other yet, and we all went out, and it was the funnest night ever. And I've got videos of this night, and M was completely legless. I don't know. This was like not a great first impression, but it was the best first impression.
Yeah, honestly, again, for those playing at home, we will show you the video one day. But yeah, I was legless, and like actually,
I actually had to hold her up as we were leaving the clubs.
yeah, her and her partner Kyle were like literally holding me up. I couldn't walk.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a really good first impression. And you know what? It was great because it just showed that you could fit in with us.
Yes,
because we're a bunch of crazy people.
And I've seen them all be legless, and yeah, so that is that. That's how I became about here, and I'm going into my 4th year here.
Yeah, you just love us so much. You can't leave.
I just can't get out of this place. No, I'm kidding.
It's a cult.
Once you're in here, yeah, it's 100% a cult.
No, it's not actually a cult. I just think that when you join the circus, especially our show, everyone just becomes super close and friends and like family, and it's a community. Like we're a community of people that just
which I have my own life outside of the show, and whenever you're here, you're literally here, and it's literally like it's like the Simpsons episode with the globe over the top. Your only life when you're here is inside, and you forget that you have a whole life outside.
Yeah.
Then you go home, and then you come back, and you're like, whoa.
It's a blessing and a curse, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing.
Because when we go on break, it's like, it's actually the worst feeling. I remember feeling at the end of last year like I did not want to go on break because I know that when you're away from everyone goes and does their own things, their own lives again. And you've just spent like 12 months or 11 months of the year together, living on location. Like everyone is just like working together, living together, hanging out together, like everything. And I was so scared because everyone here is my life. And when I left, I didn't have anything really except, my family. But it literally was so scary. I was like, fuck, I hate going and then coming back to work because it just always sometimes feels a little bit awkward. Because everyone's,
yeah, it's like you actually leave in December knowing, okay, I'm going to come back in like January, February, whatever we start back, and possibly not be friends with these people again, but you're best friends with them.
Yeah, you're best friends with them, but it's like...
You haven't seen them for 3 months.
Even though we talked over the break like every single day.
For the first week, and then we stopped.
No, we talked for the first like month, and then... we got pushed back, like our dates got pushed back to start, and then I don't know why, I got bored of her, so I stopped.
Yes.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, you just like go on break and you just live your life, and then you come back and you're like, hi guys, and you all act all shy again, and then boom.
Yeah. You like the
first weekend,
first day hanging out together, first night going out together, like it all just like comes back to normal.
Goes completely back to normal.
And it's like really chill and cool.
Well, Dante actually had a baby in the midst of all this, so definitely crazy times.
That can be a whole other episode.
Yeah, that's a whole episode
on its own.
Pregnancy
in the
circus when you're 20.
I fell pregnant when I was 19.
Yeah.
And then had her when I was 20.
Whoa. That is a whole other episode. No, fuck. We realized this is our first time, and we were like, oh, we're going to record this podcast talking to each other, but the whole time I've been looking at the camera as if I'm a news reporter. Which I won't.
Adam, cut this.
Cut that part, Adam. Cut it. Cut it now, Adam.
We've done a podcast before, but those episodes will never be released.
They can't be released, but maybe one day.
Seats, everything.
There's names on that. Right now, for this podcast, Infamous Exposed, no names will happen at all.
We want to give the goss, but unfortunately we're such a small, tight-knit community that everyone will know everything. about who we're talking about.
Yes.
So, what was your first impressions of your first week in America, Fort Lauderdale?
Well, it was really good. I've been here before to America.
Mhm.
I lived in LA for a few months, and that was so dirty and gross that I cried when I got there. I got here and I just felt so relieved.
We say that like Florida is very much like reminds me of Queensland.
Yeah, the Gold Coast, sunny coast.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
just with American accents.
the first like thing I noticed when I got out of the airport was like the air pollution.
Yeah, the
Like,
air pollution
holy shit.
compared to Australia, you guys need to sort your shit out. Like, Australia is very on top when it comes to caring about the earth. So, especially you guys in your plastic bags. I got a plastic
That's the
bag
thing.
at Winn-Dixie's, literally for laundry detergent.
That's the first thing that actually took me a little bit to like get used to in the first few weeks is one, in Australia we have like cardboard straws, and yes, they're shit, but some places give you like bamboo as well, which is really good.
Yeah.
So getting here and everyone using plastic straws, and also in Australia the plastic bags have been like changed so they're thicker, like for reuse, like so you reuse them.
Yeah.
And here it's just like the really shit plastic, and it feels crazy walking out of like Target or something and they give you one like a bag for like
For,
one
like,
item,
an eyeliner.
and I'm always like, no, I don't need a bag or something like that, and they just look at you funny.
And then they give you a bag anyways.
And I'm like, and also I think the one thing is the food. Like we were staying at a hotel for the first few weeks, and they had a breakfast down there, and it was literally like plastic eggs. We called them
Yuck.
plastic eggs because they just, and the sausage, like everything, has taken a little bit to find like the healthy food, find the food that's got like no sugar in it, because everything has got added sugar,
Yeah.
and you just have to like literally read everything.
Yes.
And my body has changed so much just from the food.
And I only shop at Whole Foods here. If you live in America, you know that that's whole paycheck.
Whole paycheck.
But honestly, it's not, because I also went to Winn-Dixie's and Publix and Trader Joe's, and it was the exact same amount and not as good quality.
I've just been shopping at Publix, and
she shops at the
at the it's the Woolies.
It's Woolworths, Woolies if you're in Australia. But yeah, the food is different. Also slang, which we all know slang's different. What's some slang that they just don't understand here? Servo, which is a gas station.
They actually, some people, everyone thinks that we're from Africa.
South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks we're from South Africa. And we actually met a girl out that was from South Africa.
And she sounded like us.
And she sounded Australian, so I kind of understand what they're getting at.
We were like, "You from Australia, girl?" And she was like, "No, I'm from South Africa."
And that's why we were like, oh.
Yeah. And we were like, "Oh, that
makes sense.
Makes sense."
One question I think also we get asked a lot is like, what we do on our days off. I mean, just here, it definitely has changed a little bit being in America, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because in Australia, we'd go to like all the same towns a lot.
So we knew what to do.
In Queensland as well, we'd be a lot in like coastal towns, beach towns. And I mean, it hasn't really changed here because they live quite close here to the beach.
To the beach, yeah.
We're a little bit further away.
But yeah, I don't have a car, which I'm used to having my own van. Like, I have a Volkswagen van at home, and I just drive that around. It's got a mattress in the back. Go to the beach. I pretend that I camp in the van, but I don't. I just sit in the back for 20 minutes, and I get bored and go home.
We've actually got so many good stories from
Australia,
but
yes. Which could be another episode in itself.
Yeah. Like, as we're settling into America here, we've just gone into, like, been thrown into spring break.
Oh my gosh. Spring break. Dun dun dun.
It is full of underage kids.
Like 16-year-olds, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, actually, someone said that they were 20, but to us, that's not underage. 17 is underage. 18's legal, but not here.
In Australia, the drinking legal age is 18, even though everyone starts at what? 12, 13, 14. But
also,
I'd say 15.
One thing we figured out is that your drink sizes are actually, like, your shot sizes are bigger in Australia.
So Australia, shots are 30 mils. And America, they're 44 mils.
So when we got here and we went to Magic Mike live. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I proper had a drink here. and I had one cocktail that was like this small. Kyle,
Kyle, just say hi.
this is your
quickly.
soft launch.
Soft launch.
Soft launch. I don't know what that is.
You can cut that out of Can't do anything on this show without someone wanting to know your business.
So
Tell me about it.
this is
Kyle has a
actually
lot of stories about that.
this is actually the one thing about circus that obviously I've grown up with it, so I've known how it goes. But being on the circus, everyone knows your business, and everyone feels like they're entitled to know your business.
And they ask you everything that you don't want to answer.
And they just, it's everyone knows everything, and you can't keep a secret around here. Someone knows it, and it's probably the worst part about this.
Yeah, no matter how hard you try, there's always one person that is looking outside their caravan window that actually sees it.
Yeah.
And then that goes to the next person, and it's Chinese whispers until it comes back to you, and you're like,
We've just been thrown straight into spring break. We've been out a few times. First, we went to Magic Mike, and I was talking about the drink sizes in Magic Mike. I got like a drink, it was like this big for a cocktail, $22, and
$22 for a cocktail or $19 for a vodka soda. Which I
That's
stupidly
fucked.
did.
Anyway, I had one, and I was like, whoa, like I'm actually feeling pretty fucked.
Yeah.
That's because they're actually bigger shot sizes. So we've been having a great time with that.
And not to mention, we went to a club and we paid $20 at the door, which included
It was an open bar till 3
open
a.m.
bar, any drink you want.
It was like, basic spirits, I'm pretty sure.
So we all spent $20 each that night, and probably all had like 6 to 10 drinks each.
It's like the equivalent of going
to schoolies.
Like we went in Australia to Airlie Beach, and we accidentally went on schoolies. It's like
I went on schoolies Gold Coast in 2016 or 2017 whenever I graduated. So I just felt like I was 18 again.
Yeah, and here in spring break, it's like kind of the same, except they're a bit older. They're college students, but everyone just feels so young.
Yeah, it's like, really weird.
I had a guy come up to me at the bar, and he was obviously trying to, get his Riz game good. Didn't have good Riz. And
Riz means flirt game, I think, from what I've gathered. I think it means like the way you flirt.
She's 25.
Yes, I'm 25. Dante's 22.
Anyway, and he comes up to me, and I'm just trying to order my drinks in peace. And he like comes up to me and he goes, "Hey," and I was like, "Hi," and he was like, "Yeah, I play lacrosse at something university," and I'm like, "Wow, that's so cool." And then I just continued trying to get my drinks, and he kept trying to. Yeah, like, I'm on the lacrosse team. I'm like, I really don't give a fuck. That means nothing to me.
And in Australia, a guy would literally come up to you and be like, "Hey, mate, can I have some of your vape?"
Or,
like,
hey, cunt, can I?
Literally.
But no, like, playing lacrosse doesn't mean anything. And plus, he looked like he was 12 years old.
He was probably carrying his lacrosse baton with him.
He wasn't, but...
It was probably at the front door ready for him to go to lacrosse practice in the morning.
Just for him to show off that he actually does play lacrosse.
Yeah, so a lot happened. Like, this guy came up to me. I don't even know what he said, but he just stole me and started walking me.
Em has the tendency to just follow anyone out the door or follow them anywhere. Anyway, so one of our friends, like, she was already halfway around the corner with this guy who definitely looked like he was on something, looked like he was 16, and anyway, and so one of our friends just went and grabbed her by the shoulders and turned her around back to us, and she was just like willingly gonna go with him.
Yeah. Which is, not like me. That definitely doesn't sound like me. So that happened. And then also, another incident, on the same night of spring break, one of our friends, Sophie, she like goes to the bathroom, tries to steal what was it, like a perfume?
It was a perfume. It was a Coach perfume. So they had like this all like set up on the table, and there was I think it was a homeless lady, and she was there like minding to clean the bathrooms, probably getting paid for it.
I think you're supposed to give her a tip for like a spray perfume
or something like that. And Sophie spent we went to the bathroom a few times, and every single time we were in the bathroom, she tried.
But I actually don't think
to
Sophie
get it.
left. Like, we were at this club for maybe 3 hours.
Mm, 4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours maybe. Sophie didn't leave the bathrooms the whole night. We didn't know where she was, and she was just pestering
She was like
this
trying to
homeless
barter
lady.
with this
Bartering with this homeless lady. She was giving her money, like just kept throwing dollar bills at her, $20 notes, $50 notes, and the lady was like, no. Sophie just kept giving her money, and she was like, no. She didn't even speak to Sophie. She just shook her head.
And then Sophie came out and tried to get one of us to go and steal the perfume. And mind you, it probably wasn't it was a Coach perfume. It was definitely one of the fake Coach perfumes.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was so funny.
So then I was like, I'm not stealing it because I do not condone that. But I was like, I will buy it off you, off the lady. So I gave the lady some money. Again, no. So we're like, Sophie, we had to drag her out.
It's just like, when you're drunk and you got like something on your mind and you just need to get it done, and you're just like, I'm gonna get that perfume.
Yeah, so that happened, and then between all this poor young girl who was on spring break cracked her head open on the stair. Her blood was everywhere, all over my arm, all over all of our friends' arms. It was even on my handbag, which is still on there. But
our friend helped her go outside and everything, and she was a bit like, why aren't you guys calling an ambulance, blah blah blah. And it's because they were all underage and they were scared to like call the ambulance and like get in trouble and all of that shit. But meanwhile, this girl's got blood pissing out of her head.
It was going down her body. It was so crazy. So that was literally all probably within the first hour of being in this club. And then also on our way out, a massive fight between 50 boys. Just
like
happened.
All of these people just like stormed towards each other, and it was just like
for
so
no
much
reason.
Testosterone in one place.
But again, it was the lamest thing we've ever seen. But that was spring break. Did we enjoy it? Yeah.
I mean, it's been fun. If spring break's still going on as we speak, we might get like a few last minute
stories that we can put in next weekend.
Yeah.
But as an Australian watching all those spring break movies, it's not like that.
No. Well, at least not in Fort Lauderdale.
No, a normal night out in Australia is probably a spring break night out, from what we would say. But we haven't been to Miami, which we were told not to go out.
Don't go to Miami during spring break is what we were told.
But
there was a shooting just last week.
Yeah, there was a shooting last week in spring break for no goddamn reason. And yeah, but we'll do a night out in Miami and let you know. We might even like do some vlogging of the night.
Everyone keeps saying to each other like at the weirdest moments, just like, guys, we're in America.
We're like,
guys,
we're in America.
The one thing I've actually really loved the most about being here is the crowds, and the audiences, and how even though like our numbers for how many people we get in the show are not the best at the moment, because we're just starting from scratch pretty much, and we're just trying to get our name out there and build up the crowds. But from night one, we've done how many shows? Like
probably like 9 shows.
9 shows or something?
No, 8 or 9.
And we've had a standing ovation in every single show, whether there was 50 people or 100 people.
So if
every show there's been a standing ovation, and it just makes you feel so freaking good. Well,
in Australia you don't get that.
Australians are just hard to please, and the entertainment culture and everything is just not as, I don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't care as much.
But in Australia they love the show. We just don't get standing ovations.
But here it gives me, like on Sunday night, we had the most people we've had since we've been here. It's like 200 and something, or like 200.
Yeah, like 200 and something, 200.
And it gave me like goosebumps. Like it felt so good. And it's been like a really hard time getting here and like setting up, and a lot of challenges, and we're still encountering a lot of challenges because it is like we knew that Americans were like very religious, a little bit prude, a little bit, we just didn't think it was actually going to be this much.
Yeah, we were kind of, we weren't sure, because like you see TikToks and Instagram and Reels, and Americans are crazy wild out there.
Yeah, I think there are people like that. I think it's just,
especially like with fashion and stuff like that, everyone's really out there. But then when it comes to like the shows,
like everyone thinks, at least here, which we're in Plantation, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and I think it's a very small, tight-knit community, and everyone literally thinks that we have sex on stage, that we're literally like a porno
Not true.
show.
Not
False
true.
news. Someone
False.
literally asked if this show was just group sex on the trapeze, and I was like, don't think that's possible.
But if
But
that was possible,
give it a shot.
they might introduce that
And-
into one show one time.
I think everyone just thinks we're literally a porno, and it's like
Yeah.
we're not. We're literally
The opposite.
the
actually.
opposite. It's nothing like that. It's classy. It's a great show, and it just
Mhm.
sucks that people are not giving it a chance before they come and see it.
We've had a few people come at least 5 times.
Oh my god, there's someone that's come like almost every single show.
And she is obsessed with us. And we've had a few people come up to the bar and they're like, I want to make you guys famous.
And you know what? Actually, another thing I really fucking love is the tips.
Oh, let's talk about tipping
Let's
culture
talk about
in America.
tipping culture.
Because Australia does not do tips. Like,
No, because we
that
get
is
paid pretty
unheard
good.
of. Except, I say that, my first show at Infamous, this couple gave me $10. Which, I'm not sure why, but
Yeah.
I probably deserved it.
No, the tips have been a great little bonus for us, I think, especially since
Yeah.
you know we've had like a long time off. We had 3 months off before getting here, and just getting that and like I don't know, it just felt really good.
Which it's great for us, but then whenever we go out, we do not know how to tip. So,
yeah, I'm so sorry.
like, we went and got our
try.
nails done. Dante didn't even tip.
I
She
felt
walked out.
so bad,
But didn't even know. Like, and then I said to
and
her,
I
did you
googled
tip?
it. I was like, "Fuck, like I need a tip," and then
Yeah, so she didn't tip. And I was like, did you tip? And she was like, no. And I was like, don't worry, I tipped $3. And then someone was like, $3 is not enough to tip someone for your nails. So, again, we don't even know because that's so
we're
unheard
learning.
of.
We're learning.
We're learning. And even money, like the pennies, all those
Oh,
coins.
I've got literally a whole bag full of coins because I don't even try. I just give $1 note.
Whereas I pour them on the bench and I say to the lady, hey, I'm from Australia, mate. Can you please count these? And they're like, yeah, sure. Trying to count them all for me, but
No, I
I
don't.
can't even keep up
I
with the
can't.
amount of coins and money. And the money here is crazy.
Yeah, you feel like you're rich because you've got all these notes, but they're just dollars.
They're literally
The
dollar bills,
notes,
y'all.
dollar bills. Actually, there's one story I wanted to tell. I was on the booking phone because we each get a day for the booking phone and to like put in the complimentary tickets. And I had it that day, and someone called up, and I always get their name, and she was spelling her name for me, and it got to the letter D, and she goes, D as in drumstick. I'm hungry. And then she just continued spelling her name
As if it was normal.
as if it was just normal, like, I'm hungry. And I was
I'm
like,
hungry.
I pissed myself laughing, and I think I spelled her name wrong because I wasn't listening to what she was saying. I was just like, it was the best thing ever. And it made my day.
So everyone, if you call up the booking phone, do something funny like that, and you will get free tickets to the show.
It's not true.
That is not true, but we could work on that. Maybe we could get like a discount code for all the listeners, like free tickets to the show. I reckon. We have to ask our boss, Michelle and Peppy, but they will say yes to that.
I don't think they will.
We'll keep you posted. But so the tipping culture, as well as there was one more thing I was gonna say, the work ethic here. I went to the chemist and I was literally buying like a pack of gum, like something little. She turned it back to me and she was like licking her ice cream. She was like,
That's because they don't.
"What do you want?"
That's because they don't get paid enough.
Yeah, and I was like, just this. And she didn't even I wasn't even a human. I was just nothing to her that day.
Well, I've learned that, I don't know, I've just been kind to fucking, like, overly kind. As soon as someone is mean to me or, like, rude to me, I'm just, like, go over the top kind and just be like, thank you so much. Like,
Because they've
blah, blah,
obviously
blah.
had the
Obviously,
worst day.
they've had the worst day.
And yeah, I would say people aren't as friendly here.
No.
But then some people are
Sometimes
overly
some people are
friendly.
really friendly.
So I went to Subway and I walked in there, no makeup, was wearing the worst outfit ever. And she was like, girl, you are beautiful. And I was like, thank you. So are you. And she was like, yeah, we are beautiful. And I was like, yeah, we are. And then she was like, no, thank you for shopping at Subway. and it was like I had like bought 10,000 subs off her that day because she was so grateful that I'd shopped at Subway. So there's people like that, and you're like, yeah, you make the world go round.
Craziest story, maybe something to do with the circus, and I'd like over the past few years, or even just like a crazy story in general. It's hard for me to think of something off the top of my head, but lucky I planned this story.
Yeah.
So the one story that stuck out to me was, it was 2020, and we were in Susan River Homestead. It was COVID, so we were like 3 months off from work, and we were just doing nothing the whole time. And one night, me and my partner Kyle decided the tent was up, so we had a place to train. We decided we were gonna go. It was so fucking cold. We went on the top of the tent, and
Which it is very hard to climb.
yeah.
Well, I struggle to climb
We
it.
climbed up there with a towel, and had some other stuff as well that I needed to carry. Like, anyway, and then we
like
got up,
snacks,
like snacks,
condoms.
Yeah, we went up the top of the tent, and we went on a part. I don't know why, because it was so slippery. The condensation, it was wet on the top of the tent because it was so cold that night. And I climbed up, and we couldn't get to the part where we wanted to climb up to, like the more safe part. And so we stopped on like this, like, anyway,
Very risky
place. Anyway, we had sex on the tent. And I can tell you that we were one of the first people to have sex on top of the tent.
Unless, if you're from Infamous listening to this right now,
I know one other person that has.
Okay, well, that other person can send in their story, and we can tell.
I would tell it, but I know who it is.
Really,
and,
I want to know.
Yeah,
you'll have to tell me after.
And so we did that, and as we were having sex, because it was so cold and wet on the tent, we were sliding down the tent, like sliding off the tent. And anyway, it was the most uncomfortable thing.
They were hanging on to the
no,
top.
that's not what
They were legs off, like, help!
No, we were just sliding, and it ended up, it was the most uncomfortable thing in the world, but at least we could say that we did it, and that was the main thing.
Yeah, so that is...
A lot of people, yeah, that's probably
that's
the
an
craziest,
achievement.
the craziest place I've had sex is on top of the big top.
Wow. If you can beat that, we will give you free tickets to the show.
Him and your fucking free tickets. You don't have free tickets to get him out.
Free flight to Fort Lauderdale. No, I'm kidding. That is not happening. So no one asked for that. But that is an achievement. That's a crazy story. Well, I can't even think of one on the top of my head. So I'm going to think about this for a whole week. And next episode, I'm going to tell mine.
But our plans for, like, future episodes, you know, I feel like, please send us, like, we'll list our Instagrams and everything like that. We'll probably make an Instagram for this podcast, but we definitely want to do dating life in the circus.
Because that's a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
Dating life, even like day in the life, how everyone trains, stories from everyone in the show. Like, we want to get our boss, which is Dante's uncle, Pepe, or Joseph.
Yeah. I think everyone has got really interesting stuff to say, and it would be interesting and fun. And we also thought we'd do like a Q&A, so they would also be fun.
Even
so just let us know.
Even advice. What do you reckon?
Yeah,
Well,
I give great advice, Em, don't you know?
I give great advice too. I can hear Kyle like coughing in the background. But yeah, we'll add our Instagrams. Dante's is
Dante_Ashton.
And mine's Emmalene_Kate. And you can obviously follow the show.
Infamous the show, which is
Infamous the show. Look on our website.
This podcast has
Instagram.
probably been all over the place, so let's see if Adam can work his magic.
Yes, Adam, give it up for Dadam.
Dadam.
No, this is, yeah, it's probably all over the place. We don't even know if this sounds good. Like, it could be me yelling Dante like really soft in the background.
Could just be Em talking to the camera and not talking to me.
Again,
we need,
we want advice on how this is going.
not
if
well.
we even get any listeners.
even if something can be salvageable from this.
Yes, and also follow us on TikTok because I feel like that's where you make
Yeah,
your money.
infamous on TikTok.
Not money. Sorry, I meant followers. Adam, cut that. We don't want money. We just want followers.
Okay, I'm out. Peace.
Bye, guys.
She said, guys.